rising viewers. And today we're going to be bringing you something slightly different. It's going to be top 10 tips of how to survive DayZ Breaking Point. Or what we think are the top 10 tips, you know?
If you can do one thing, find some camo.
Yeah, tip number 1 is find camo clothing. That is definitely a key. It doesn't have to be camo clothing in general, it has to be, you know, some just different clothing. For example, I'm in the Urban Bandit camo that I found, he's in the Spec Ops.
French.
Oh, French.
French clothing.
French clothing. You know, just find something camouflage, because you don't realise how much it helps sometimes, you really don't.
And especially at distances greater than 500 metres.
Yeah.
It will really help.
Tip number 2. I would say another tip is, as you can see, that after a distance, the grass seems to disappear, and it's no longer nice long grass. It's just badly textured terrain. What many people don't know is that if you are laying on that badly textured terrain, you actually sink into the map, if you like, into the terrain, as far as you would normally be covered by grass. So if you're in very long grass, like this isn't that long, but you know you get the grass, it's like that the whole way down. If you lay prone in that grass, it actually does sink you down to that level, thus you're still covered and you're still sort of camouflaged. This is a good example of how the grass, even at a distance, can still be used to cover you. So always try to go prone in long grass, it helps. As you can see, his feet have disappeared. That's because the grass where he is probably about as long as the grass that we're in, thus hiding his feet.
3.
Tip number 3 would be check your surroundings. So you're running through a forest, you know, always be scanning, you know, zooming in with the right mouse click, you know, scan every tree, every little thing. You don't have to be thoroughly, you don't have
Use
to, like,
the Alt key.
Yeah, hold down Alt and like turn your, if you hold down Alt obviously you can turn your head. So you can do this in first or third person, whatever you prefer. We prefer third when we're sort of moving, and then first in combat. For example, I'm not saying, you know, go up to every single tree and be like, oh, hello, anybody here? You know, that'd be pretty fun if there was a guy in there. But it'd be pretty pointless, you know. We're not saying go to every tree, but we're saying you're running in the forest, you know, scan your surroundings, making sure that there's no one sitting up there laying prone or watching you with a sniper, because not all the time, obviously you're not going to see them every single time, but it does help. And if you sort of
just stay alert.
Yeah, stay alert. That's tip number 3, I guess. Scan your surroundings, stay alert.
4.
Tip number 4 would be always remember to keep low. People from a very long way away, especially on a hill like this, you can see silhouettes moving, you can see people moving a lot easier if they're standing, so always try and stay low, prone if possible, but remember you move very slow and prone, it's quite frustrating, so crouching's good enough, but just make sure, and you always use these like trees to your cover, don't run in the open field, always try and run along tree lines, you know, stay in cover to get to your position. For example, my position's right here, for example, you have to stay behind the trees, make sure that no one's watching from either side, and then you know, just get prone in your position. Right next to my buddy here, and always have a good view on something.
5.
Tip number 5 would be if you see zombies over 200 meters away from your position, that normally means there's another player there. So for example, these zombies, these ones here, oh that's weird, these ones here, they are ours, okay? We have spawned those in because we are running within 200 meters of them. The ones down there,
by
however,
those hangars, that's about 500 metres.
Yep. The ones down there that we can see, that one there, and they're all gravitating towards a player, obviously, because that's what they do. That means that there's another player down there. And when he
likely beyond the hangars, actually.
Yeah, and when he runs away from these zombies, they will despawn when he gets about 200-300 meters away. So this means he is still here, or he's still here. That's what it means. So basically, always look out for zombies. Tip number 5: always look out for zombies. It could be the difference between life and death from another player or a bandit, because this means they're here. Okay, sometimes you don't know the range of things like this. You don't know if it's 200 meters, and also when you're traveling, you might have seen in our videos we have this little waypoint.
Waypoint.
That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you. So what you need to do for that is go to your map. Quite easily do this. Look, you can delete it. Right, that's the waypoint, by the way. So say I want to know those zombies are around about here. That's where the barracks is. Because in Breaking Point, the new buildings don't come up on the map like these. These are original buildings, so all these are new. So it's really good. Basically, the barracks is about here. So you want to find the distance. You hold down the left shift key, and you click, and you'll see a little circle come up. That means your waypoint is set. When you come out of your map, you will see that the waypoint is round about there. The reason
That does require a map.
it does require a map.
You
Yes.
will have to use it.
Yes. The reason that looks like it's not where I placed it is because the hill dips down right there. But that is about 400 metres away. Thus, even confirming our first basically idea that there is a player here. As you can see, 400 metres distance. The maximum spawn distance of a zombie to your client-side server thing is about 200 metres. So this means that there's definitely a player somewhere around here, and it also helps if you have a waypoint going to where you want to go because you know the exact direction, especially when running. Obviously, when you're driving a car, you want to take the roads and stuff. But when you're running to a position, you want to know just no bullshit. You want to go directly to your waypoint. Use waypoints. 6. Tip number 6. Breaking point. You always want to get to a higher position than your enemy when you're scouting out of a position. This is fairly obvious.
Get elevation advantage.
Yeah, this is fairly obvious, but you want to get an Overwatch position. If you have a sniper rifle, great. If you don't, it's still useful. I mean, I'm not going to kill anyone from up here with this, am I? I mean, I could hit him if I was a good shot, but you know, I'm not going to kill anyone from up here. This is more for Overwatch. You know, before I go into a position, I want to make sure there's no other players there. So I'm using my scope, and would you know it, some zombies, which means there's a player there, as tip number 5 and 4 show. Meaning that there must be a zombie in the vicinity, must be a player in the vicinity, so be aware. So tip number 6 is always use advantage points, always take the higher ground against your enemies. It has helped us in many battles, as you have seen in other clips, and it has saved our lives more times than I care to mention. Headshot, 7! Tip number 7, know the difference between cover and concealment. This is a very simple but very effective tip. Know your difference.
It's often forgotten as well.
Yeah, very often forgotten from what when I've killed people on this. Always remember what's the difference between cover and concealment. Basically, that means always know, like always take in mind if you're getting shot at or you're in combat, what is going to stop a bullet and what's going to conceal you. For example, at the moment, if someone was to shoot us from down the airfield, we probably could crawl away if they weren't that close, if they weren't a good shot. But if they were a decent shot, we'd be pretty screwed. You know, we're not in any decent cover, we're not behind a wall, we're not behind anything decent. And even if we get behind this tree here, most of our body will probably still be sticking out. You know, my arm will be sticking out, maybe my head if I try and look behind me, that kind of thing. So this is not ideal cover, this is just, as I said, concealment. This is just to keep us hidden. 8. Tip number 8. Communication. When you're playing with other friends, I mean not all the time, obviously not everyone has other people to play with on this game, but you want to be communicated and you want to be very well informed at all times. For example, whilst I was just recording another tip, my good friend Paul here told me that he saw contacts in the airfield. He told me exactly how far away, whereabouts he was, a direct position, a grid, you know, the coordinates of him. Oh, there's one down there, Paul. Contact.
Another contact.
Just in front of new hangars, moving from right to left across the runway. Oh, hang on, looks like he's turned.
Motorbike.
He's
engaged.
on the motorbike. Oh, you're engaging. Okay.
Don't know how that went.
Not very well. He's running away.
Gets any closer? Yeah, I've got eyes on these guys.
So to do with the communication, if your friend has a sniper and he doesn't want to shoot with that loud gun, you take out the zombies that are near to him. And then enemies rush him after you've done that.
What's your geometry? Fuck me. I'm getting suppressed, dude.
That's me, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I know. Was that you?
That was all me. There was many zombies running towards us.
Sound like a fucking sonic crack.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh god. I really don't have to shoot this one. Okay. As you see, I've upgraded the sounds. Another great tip for DayZ Breaking Point, and this is for Breaking Point alone. You cannot do this on any other DayZ mod. Map your turbo key and use it for posture and stance animation. What I mean by this is if you go to escape and go to options and you go to controls, if you scroll down, you'll see something called the turbo key. There it is.
What's the trick?
Right. Here is the turbo key. I've mapped it to left control. Once you have it mapped, what you want to do is press OK. I'm going to press cancel because I've already got it mapped. I don't want to change these settings. And what you want to do is hold down that button, and what you can do with this is if you're holding down the your turbo button, if you press A when laying down, you do this. It's a stance, so like if you can't see round a tree, if I go to first person, you see, I can now see round that tree. So for example, a good example of this is here, if I go to first person, I can't see round this like big ass branch in front of me. If I was to hold down control and press D to the right, I have this scope on here that's that it zooms in the holographic basically. You can actually look around things like trees, and obviously it looks like colour. And also another good thing to use of this, if you haven't done this, hold up. Another good thing to know this is if you look down once Y in the D stance, it actually looks like you're dead. So if you don't have a backpack on and you do this, you're laid in the middle of an airfield, for example, down there, as long as zombies don't attack you, you're pretty much going to be able to jump someone. I mean, we have a body, you wake up, bam, 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 they're down, you take their gear and you move on. It's a very good tactic. 9! Tip number 9 would be, if you have low blood, and you don't have a buddy to give you a blood bag, and you can't find any friendlies in the server, some food actually does give you blood back, and obviously food is important anyways. So tip number 9 is hunting. The reason for this is that steaks, like from cows and stuff, they give you the best blood return basically from eating one. To hunt an animal, what you simply have to do is you know, shoot it, kill it in any way, hatch it, whatever you want, and then all you have to do is go up to the body. You have to have a hunting knife, so this thing here, you have to have a hunting knife. You go up to the body, you look at it, scroll wheel, it will say got animal. You got the animal, and then steaks will appear, or whatever you've got. If it's a rabbit, it'll be like, you know, the hide or whatever. If you kill a pig, it'll be bacon. You gut it, and you take out the food, and then you simply, to bake the food, because you don't want to eat more meat. Again, same as boiling the water. What you do is you get a hatchet, you cut down the wood, and then you right-click the wood, make it a campfire. Then what you do is you light the campfire with matches, and then all you do is go to the fire, right-click the food. It will say cook food. Then it's cooked for you. You eat it. Blood. Back for you, Inco Pinko, all good, and gravy. And the one we've been waiting for, 10! Yeah!
Right.
Last tip of the day,
gunfire.
Tip number 10, there is gunfire over there. Tip number 10, the last tip of this video, it is going to be, don't forget to boil your water. Now, to boil your water, what you need to do is you need to get a water bottle and an empty tin can. You can get this from eating something, so for example, or drinking something. Best thing to do is when you eat something. So you eat something like some beans. It has to be in a tin, so you know, canned Franken beans, any of those. You eat it, and what happens is you'll poop out on the floor a metal tin can. I see him by the hangers. When that happens, what you're going to do is pick it up, stick it in your inventory. Oh fuck me! Stick it in your inventory. And then what you want to do is create a campfire. Now to create a campfire... I just saved his art. Nice, done. To create a campfire, if you didn't know how to do it, you get a hatchet, you go into woods, like thick woods like that, and you chop down some wood, put it in your inventory, put the wood down by right-clicking it and making fireplace. Then what you do is you light the fireplace with things like a box of matches. Things you'll need is a hatchet and a box of matches. Cut down the wood, light the fire, then simply go to the fire, right click the tin can, and it will say boil water. You right click the tin can, it will then take both of them out of your inventory, boil the water for you, put it back in your inventory, and there you go, you've got some nice boiled water. The reason you want to do this is to stop yourself getting infected, as antibiotics are hard to come by. We only got one of them between us. They are very difficult to come by, probably the rarest medical substance to find, so you do want to keep them because the infections do come very easily. So you want to boil your water to make sure you don't get infections from that. That's our top 10 tips of the day. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and please rate, comment, subscribe if you want any more tips or what you want to see in the next video. Thanks for watching.